Finally, we're entering the other side of the Rohtang. The sun's out. We have officials waiting on this side. At this point, when you turn left, you go to Leh, Kargil and Srinagar. You go right, you go to Rohtang, Kaza and wherever else. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go right. Well, the sun's really bang in front of us, so I'm going to turn this camera off. So just a little ahead of the tunnel, there's a police stop here. We've got to make our entries, and then it's onwards and upwards. We're at 10,000 feet above sea level. The temperatures are already dropping to 7 degrees now. On our way to Chandrataal Lake, well past the Rohtang tunnel, and this is just layers and layers and layers of, I wouldn't call them hills, but they're mountains. The roads are starting to get quite rough, and it's a climb. Chances are I may need to go into 4x4 mode. I mean, locking all four wheels. It is an all-wheel drive, and at some point I may have to go 4 low. But for now, it's trudging along. Selfie is struggling a little bit. And this road looks completely blocked. This is going to be an interesting drive. Look at this. I'm going to stop here, wait till Selfie gets here, because I doubt if Selfie can make it. So we'll report back. So these are heavy stones and a lot of mud. And we're trying to figure out if Selfie will make it. Well, I have doubts about Gulfie too, but this is an interesting time. It's just a small patch, I guess. So what do you think?
Yeah, we'll try first gear going up. Let's see, it's a small patch, but slowly making the way up. We'll try and take it further.
You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
You go first, I'll follow with the track.
Okay. All right, so let's do this. So I'm 4x4 low, and let's see how this works out. It's quite soft, this mud, with lots of rocks underneath for traction, I hope. But this patch can be quite a challenge for Selfie. I'm not sure if this road is even open. But it's just this patch. So if I'm going to, with my weight, compress this under the car, maybe Selfie can follow my tracks as he said he would. So this patch is all it is. And now we're back to decent roads. So I made it through, and let's get a shot of what Selfie's up to. Now this is the kind of terrain we're in right now. Stark desert with almost no vegetation. Now Selfie's not a 4x4. I think he may have got himself stuck near a rock. I may have to pull him out. His rear wheel is off the ground, so he doesn't have much traction. There you go. I think he's got himself something there. He's a front wheel drive. I guess that's the issue. So I may need to use the recovery gear to pull him and give him some power. So we've decided to tow him out. He's pulling out his recovery rope, and I need to bring Gulfy closer and see if we can pull him out. Hopefully we'll get a shot of that.
So that's Gulfy backing up. Recovery for Selfie. Trying to get stuck. Totally.
Is it close enough to your recovery rope?
A little bit more. That's all. We're trying to rope up vehicles.
So this is going to be our first recovery. It's essentially just giving him a little extra power as I pull him out of this, while he still uses his resident power in the front wheels to get there. Hook it to the tow hook here. You have to tie it. I don't think it'll go around it. Hang on. This is stuck, hasn't been used for a while.
Ready.
So we haven't used this tow hook for a long time, and this thing is a little jammed, so I'm using this hammer back
Finally.
That works.
Yeah, it works. So we'll have to just put the rope directly, not with the clamp. Okay.
Good to go.
Good to go.
And so Gulfy did its job, and the Selfie's out.
Thank you very much, Gulfy, for this recovery. Great help. Great teamwork.
Great teamwork, yeah. This is why we need two cars always.
Yeah, always a backup car is fine.
And how coincidental. The recovery rope matches Gulfy.
That's the color, yeah.
So recovery done. We're getting back to shape. And we have two young Javans of the Border Road Organization. आपको हम सल्यूट करते हैं सर. क्योंकि फौज तो फौज है, पर ये काम ऐसे इलाकों में बनाना ये फौज से कम नहीं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका। तो हम एक्चुअली अंगदान के प्रचार में लगे हुए हैं। अंगदान पता है आपको? मरने के बाद किसी को अपना आंख देना, ताकि वो भी इस दुनिया को देखे, इस सुंदर दुनिया को। तो आपको यहाँ, आप कहाँ से हो? मनाली से हैं। अच्छा, तो आप यहाँ भी इस रोड को बनाने आए हैं। आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जय हिंद। Post recovery, these roads seem a lot better, and according to the border road guys we just met, they said the roads from here on are good. So that's a relief. Now there's always a debate between a four-wheel drive and a two-wheel drive. A lot of people say that, you know, two-wheel drives go pretty much everywhere a four-wheel drive goes. Which is true actually. You see a lot of small cars going through here, but there is no way that a small car would have gotten through that patch, and you don't know what to expect in a drive when you're overlanding. So it's important to carry the gear and to have the right gear to be able to deal with anything that comes your way that is unexpected, in this case, this patch. Now, although the roads are great this side and that side, but if you cannot have gotten through that, there is no way you'd have come to this part of the road either, right? So it's good that Selfie was carrying a recovery rope for himself, although I do have it in this car as well, for myself. And that's where a prepared vehicle scores over an unprepared vehicle. Not to say that Gulfie, with all its preparation, is infallible. Things can go wrong, it can happen, but preparation is the key to the possibility of success, of a successful expedition. Including your personal gear. You've got to make sure that you have the right gear to protect yourself from the elements of nature, because you don't know how much you may have to walk, how much you may have to be outside. There will be no warning, and that's the key to overlanding. So when you see overlanding vehicles equipped to the hilt, almost to be off-grid, like a preparing for the apocalypse, well, yes, we are prepared for the apocalypse, just in case, right? And if we don't have to use it, it's like insurance. We don't have to use it. This expedition is, well, it's predominantly about organ donation awareness, but it's also about passion, it's about endurance, it's about strength. All of those things that are displayed by human spirit. And two of us, Sanjay and myself, working on our lives with just one kidney doesn't mean that it's a big deal. You know, 1 in 700 people are born with one kidney, and they live perfectly normal lives. So what we're trying to portray and what we're trying to give out here is that life can be followed, lived with passion, with endurance and strength. All three qualities embodied by the brand and the spirit of Gulf, which is why they are teaming up with the gift of life adventure, not just to extend the life of an engine of a car, but to also put out the message to everyone out there through us on how we can extend our own lives and the lives of those in need when we gift them a life with an organ donation. Strength, passion and endurance. This road is as much as theirs, so we need to be compassionate, considerate to these workhorses. These are mules that carry heavy loads, that make the human spirit come alive with the partnership that they give. There's no way a human can carry the loads they can to these scales, these heights, to do anything here, from maintenance to build roads, to explore, to live. To follow their passion, to test their own endurance and display their strength. And you must know, as we drive higher and higher, that air is going to get thinner and thinner, which means it's going to make it difficult for a diesel engine to breathe. Just as a human finds it difficult to breathe, a diesel engine will also find it a struggle to get up these hills. So we need to be patient and not just step on the gas. We have to treat this car with all the love and care that we need to, as you would a human, because this is going to protect us. And that's why I treat my cars like they were my family. And they are, because this is the only constant for me. I'm always in this car, but the scenery, the people, they constantly change around me as I drive overland. For the most part, the landscape is quite constant, but there is no way I'm going to complain about it. It's something about these formations, this natural formation of rocks, mud, mountains, and a pristine road going through them is just a shining example of how man has mastered nature and lived with it in harmony. But every time I look at these roads, I think about the Border Road Organization and the people that work with it, that have come this far, this high, to make motoring and exploring of our natural wealth of these mountains, to be a part of this. Being here gives you a sense of where you really stand in the big scheme of things. We inflate our egos with who we are, what we've done, what we possess, who we own, what we own. Somehow here it all disintegrates. You know how vulnerable you are. With a flick of a switch, things can get really nasty for you. Or if that switch continues to stay off, you're just one with what we call the universe. And we are designed to be in these places so we can enjoy these parts as part of the family and not someone above and beyond or more powerful than what I see right here. As we climb higher and higher, my ears are popping, making it difficult to speak because you try to hear yourself and you cannot. It's quite a funny situation, but I'm just continuing to talk, hoping that the words are coming out right. Every now and then you see a stupa here and there. We're headed to Chandrataal. It's a lake, and up ahead we do see other expeditioners at this pass, and we are at a pass right at the highest point, and we shall stop here. And this is the Rohtang Pass, the famous Rohtang Pass. Gulfie and Selfie made it up here to the Rohtang Pass, and of course everywhere there are people coming in, there are people doing business. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Fine, sir.
Are you expecting a lot of business today? तो यहाँ पर अभी लोग आएंगे कि नहीं आएंगे? बंद रहता है। तो उसी उम्मीद से क्या आप हाँ, हम तो भूले भटके हैं भाई साहब, आप हमें कुछ खिलाएंगे? यहाँ तक तो आ गए तो आपको भी हम बिजनेस करेंगे। हाँ, तो रोहतांग पास यही है। हाँ जी। So 13,000 feet above sea level, 13,058. A bunch of entrepreneurs here. These are the kachars that bring all the load up here for them, or they all go for rides. तो इसमें कचर पे बैठ के कहीं घुमाते हैं क्या? अच्छा, कहाँ तक? नहीं, पर घुमाते कहाँ तक है? So apparently we missed the turning to Chandrataal, which is where we're supposed to go, and we've come on to the Rohtang Pass, going back towards Manali. So we've got to turn around and now look for the road signs. So we're 12 kilometers away. Yahan se 12 kilometers? Oh, that's a long time. So we've clearly lost a lot of time doing this. A small road sign that we missed. Rohtang Pass पे मैगी खाने का मजा कुछ और ही है इस ठंड में, इस ऊंचाई में, और गलत रास्ते पकड़ने का नतीजा मैगी। एक प्लेट मैगी हो जाए ऐसे ठंड में तो सारी ठंड दूर, पेट में गर्मी और हौसला बुलंद। मैगी तो मिनट में नहीं बनती है, 5-6 मिनट लगती है। 2 मिनट खोलने में चलता है। Welcome to the inside of Gulfi. As you can see, this is fully packed with everything that I may need. Well, almost everything. So we're just turning around from the Rohtang Pass. Apparently we came 12 kilometers ahead. So what happened is we took the tunnel, bypassed the Rohtang Pass, and came back upwards towards Manali on the Rohtang Pass. So if we had continued on, we would have got back to Manali without knowing it. We apparently missed the turning to Chandrataal about 12 kilometers. 12 kilometers in these terrain is almost an hour and a half of driving, and we've lost that time. We've lost the advantage that we got with taking the tunnel. Had we have just driven on the Rohtang Pass, we'd have been in the same time zone in terms of driving time. So there we go. You live and you learn. Thanks to locals, they tell you what you're doing wrong. So it's always good to talk to locals when you're overlanding. That Maggie was delicious. I made something about food and hot food and in these altitudes and these locales that kind of taste 200 times better. You have this at home, it's just like, wow. But you have it here, it's like gourmet delicacy. It's piping hot. You gotta eat it quickly, otherwise it's gonna get really cold because of the wind and the outside temperature, which is now at 10 degrees now, as the sun keeps going. Now, as we get closer to Chandrataal, it's gonna start dropping. And we are in expedition gear. We'll tell you more. Hopefully we'll stitch all of these videos together and make one really nice video. So the interesting part is we're going to go back 12 kilometers, which means we're going to go back to that spot where we had to recover, where Gulfi had to recover Selfie using a tow rope. And I may have to tow Selfie across that thing again. But this time, there are a lot more people over there. The border road workers have come there because that's a patch that they're fixing. Maybe they will help. So as I told you, we overshot 12 kilometers, so we have to come back, which means we have to tow Selfie again over this small patch. Of course, when we came by, there was no work going on. Now everybody's here trying to fix this part of the road, but they will not help us because they cannot. I need to pull, I need to tow, and that's what's going to happen.
कहाँ जाए बड़ा कैमरा वीडियो बनाएगा ना वो ट्रैक्टर देखे ना हीरो वीडियो बनाना पड़े गाड़ी को ट्रैक्टर भाई है बोला उसने पहले मेरे ट्रैक्टर बना दिया आज यार कितना भागने यार
So we just finished recovery of selfie in a border road organization. वैसे आप लोगों को बहुत बहुत बधाई है, सबसे बड़ा काम आप ही कर रहे हो। ऐसे इलाकों में सड़कें बनाना तो बहुत अहम बात नहीं है। So we are here with, क्या नाम है बच्चे आपका? अंजलि। How cute। अब अंजलि आप ये जैकेट पहनेंगी? हाँ ठंड ज्यादा है ना? हाँ पहनोगे? ये लो आप डालो इसमें। हाय हाय और यहाँ पे यहाँ फिट हो जाए देखो परफेक्ट परफेक्ट। And these are clothes donated by Mehak and Sonia Nichani. I don't know whose is whose, but both of you, thank you. And your kids. This one fits perfectly. Anjali, thank you. High five. Well, dhanyawad. So this is how we get down the Rohtang Pass, and that mud road you see down there, that is the path to Chandrataal. That's barely one vehicle could pass through there. Maybe from here it looks like it won't, but I'm sure it does. There are people who are doing it. The ice melt comes in to form a large river, and I guess all of this contributes a tributary to the Bias River. So this is the turnoff that we missed. It's good, and we missed it again, and we had to come right back, and selfie caught it. This is where we start with off-road tracks along the river on our way to Kaza, Chandrataal before that. Let the games begin. Talking about endurance, well, this is the beginning of that. Look at those beautiful colors right ahead of us. So this essentially is the road that we're going to be presented with all the way. The Border Road Organization didn't think it good enough to have to pave these places, and leaving it rough as they come for only those that dare to go where no one else does. This is no doubt a supreme test on the teamwork of man and machine. As in the erstwhile USSR countries, they call this vehicle, or they call any vehicle, machina. So Gulfi the machina Anil the explorer, going going to some of the prettiest places on this planet. Not that I'm the first. There's plenty of people who've done it before me, and I'm sure there will be plenty after me. I'm just wondering how Selfie is going to fare at the back. I keep saying that he's done this before. But has he? Now clearly there's a lot of off-roaders who've come here and they've created shortcuts, and that one we just passed, but I'd rather not just take that, because then Selfie will follow and that may not turn out so well. And that shortcut just joins this path. The sun's getting up, it's getting warmer down here, 12 degrees. Looking at the weather channel, it says Kaza, well not Kaza, but Chandrataal was sporting daytime highs of 5 degrees Celsius and a nighttime low -9. So I'm wondering at what point are we going to start hitting those temperatures on this path. So going by this speed, I think it'll be quite late by the time we get to the destination where we're hoping to camp the night. This is a well-traveled path, mostly by trucks like this that are part of the construction work of the BRO. So I saw a big truck come by on the opposite direction, so I've just found a wider space here, so I'm just waiting for them to pass. Otherwise it could get quite hairy with a big truck and an SUV. There's just about enough room. Gives me some time to wait on Selfie as well. Selfie's taking his time. It's not easy terrain for Selfie. It's been a lowish car, the Duster, and I bet these colors are going to look a lot prettier in the setting sun. Now the sun is pretty much on top. It's 10:22 in the morning. We've been on the road for about 3 hours now. Would be much farther along had we not missed the tour, the turning to get to this road. We missed the turning twice. That's how inconspicuous it is. With each turn, it's getting rougher and rougher. I was planning to bring Gulflander on these roads. Well, if these huge Tata trucks are able to navigate this road, I'm sure Gulflander could have done it. But I'm pretty glad I'm in Gulfie. Gulfie is certainly more agile than Gulflander would have been. But wherever Gulfie and Gulflander go, we are expanding the territory of Gulfistan. How beautiful was that scene? Here's a real-life cowboy locally. Look at that waterfall over there, far across the other side of the river, of the ravine. So majestic. It's natural slow motion. I mean, I'm sure it's falling in liters and liters and liters. But it just looks like it's slowed down, taking its time. Gently falling on those rocks, shaping it over time. You see this mud road all the way down there? Well, we seem to be en route through these valleys, all the way to Lake Chandrataal, and maybe Kaza, maybe Spiti. So a bunch of young boys from somewhere in the state, maybe Manali, caught up with us in a gypsy. And gypsies are mountain goats. Very agile in this territory, and of course young blood. Just steaming over this kind of terrain. I could, but I'm taking care of Gulfie as well. I don't want to abuse Gulfie, because Gulfie takes me far and wide, and there is no hurry. I'm in no hurry to get any place quick. So much for that. There's a Punjab car, an Innova, making it on this territory. So we're approaching that bridge, and of course we have traffic. Even here, people in a hurry, honking and wanting to pass. So I'm not in a hurry. They're welcome to pass. And all of these taxis, I'll tell you, they are quite a pain in the ass. Himalayan Motorsport, shame on you. You guys ought to train your drivers a little better for more courtesy. It's just pure arrogance. But hey, Hakuna Matata. However, just for the pictures, I can cross and come back. This bridge is closed. So we've come around and looking to cross over this smaller bridge. It seems like quite an old one, and there's quite a big crack at the base of it. So that doesn't sound or look very safe for a really heavy car. We'll try it anyway. If it was good enough for the gypsy, it would be good enough for us. Okay, so Jai Bajrang Bali ki Jai. Seems to be quite a rest stop here. We'll talk to the locals and see what's up. Chatru, population 120, height 11,100 feet. Yeah, I heard you. Copy. Coming up next is Lay It Down, Aerosmith, right here on Gulfy Radio. That was Laid Down by Aerosmith. Stay tuned, this is Gulfy Radio coming to you live from somewhere in the Himalayan range. That's right, red wine. Wouldn't you like some right now, ladies and gentlemen? Here's a Chandigarh car, a Hyundai Creta. Oh, you could pass me. This is how rough the terrain is. This does certainly beat up the suspensions. Now stock cars are coming here and I have aftermarket suspensions. I think both of us are taking quite the beating. A lot more spring in mine, but under these conditions that is not a good thing because you're like a trampoline now. I may feel the bumps less, but it's certainly like a pogo stick bouncing around. Oh great, we have another vehicle coming up and this is quite the narrow. I guess I will have to find some space on the side because I'm on the mountainside and he's on the riverside, so yeah, this spot seems like a nice place for us to pass. this terrain is as rough as they come. I mean, we're not rock climbing or anything, but you see the terrain around us? It's all rock. And look at this going down. It's only rock. This is a test for the brakes. In fact, I'm going to go four-wheel low and go in my first gear so my brakes don't get taxed too much. It's almost like a crawl gear. It takes me down slow and steady without having to jam on my brakes, because this is not just good for it at all. There's a little high rock here, so I'm going to take it from the left a little bit just to avoid perhaps getting the differential, you know, scraping on it. I'm a little worried for selfie, a little lower, but you look at this crawl, it's thanks to the four-wheel low first gear. Smoothly glides over all these rocks, holding your, giving you some really high torque. So I don't come hurtling down. So maybe I'll just stay in low, because this terrain seems like I need a little extra push. Now, driving overland on terrain like this just to get to some of the prettiest spots on this planet, some of the prettiest sights on this planet, I guess should be worth the trouble. If you're really not much of a nature lover, then don't do this. But if you are, then no pain, no gain. Just don't abuse your vehicle. Take it slow, take it soft. Never come here in a hurry. Take your time. There are some bikers who do this trek, and here are some that are passing us by. They're all camping. Look at their camping gear at the back. I guess they spent the last couple of days over here. Now heading back to Manali. Well, we're heading there already. We hope to camp there tonight. Well, the temperature is holding at a steady 14 degrees at top of the hour, top of the day. At noon it's 12:12, and I guess from here on it's going to start dropping quite drastically. The air conditioning in the car is on because the sun is creating a greenhouse effect, and we are dressed for -7, so we don't have to go out there and do it at the scene, at the venue, at the spot, at the site. So the AC is on, so giving this car's engine a little more work to do, straining it a little more. Ideally, you should keep your air conditioning on. Putting the windows down is not a good idea here because of all the dust that's raised by our own tires and the tires of the other vehicles passing you by. That's enough to give you almost a millimeter of coating. Look at Gulfy outside. It's engulfed in dust. Look at these panoramic views. Just a vast expanse of rock towering in the sky. The rocks at the bottom tell the history and the longevity of these mountains. These rocks have come from up there over time, plundered by raging rivers, flooding rivers, storms, high winds, and somehow come here to rest and settle like a graveyard of rocks. Only the tough survive, the rest come down and rest. While the strong continue to build this mountain as the Himalayan range continues to grow centimeter by centimeter every decade, with the tectonic plates pushing against each other, giving rise to all of these rocks. The weak ones just crumble in the form of landslides and more, and settle down here, creating this scene. Well, I guess the Gypsy is overheated. They're cooling it down with some water over here. Like I said, don't abuse your vehicles. Treat it softly because your vehicles will take care of you. Boys are doing something here, having a good time while their vehicle cools down. Well, the moment I switch to four-wheel low, the car seems to like it a lot better, and so does the engine. So I should have done this a lot earlier. But anyways, we are here on that mode now, and the car is feeling a lot more comfortable driving under these engine conditions. Hello from the cockpit of Gulfi. We've been watching everything through windscreen TV. I just thought I'd come by here and tell you how it's feeling for me. As you can see, I'm fully all shook up. I'm shaken, I'm stirred. I feel like the James Bond of my time. Well, you see that? You see? Well, it's not easy on the body. People wonder, hey, you're just sitting and driving, it must be comfortable. Yeah, come try it and see how your body copes. You need fitness. I spend a lot of time on keeping my body fit as much as I possibly can. I'm sure I can do more, considering my age, just so I can be fit enough to just sit and drive. What do you think? Just sitting and driving. My back's taking quite a beating. So is my hamstring, my quads, my knees. The moment I look out the windscreen, all those pains seem to vanish. Motorcyclists doing this ride, this is like a rite of passage for them. You'd think, why this is like the holy grail for bikers. It is not easy to ride on these rocks. At least I'm on four wheels, but they're slipping and sliding. Delhi boys with a drone, with a GoPro, fully equipped. Here's another solo biker from, I guess, local. This is how they get around from village to village. Oh boy. There we go. Talk about a traffic jam. So we've got to back up. Here we go. A Maruti Suzuki Alto. You see it everywhere. They go everywhere. We make so much fuss about modifying our 4x4 SUVs, making it look like the beast. Now that thing is what one needs to travel in. Thing about driving in high altitude. Yeah, it's a little nice, chilly, it's cold, it's pleasant, however you see it. But it is slowly, the air over here is so dry but it is slowly dehydrating you, which means you gotta keep drinking a lot of water. I say this between swigs of water that I'm taking right now. Still battling these terrains to get Chandrataal Lake. This is also the route to Kaza, and that part of Himachal Pradesh. It's pretty rough. Think about the locals and the local villages over there that have to come to bigger cities and towns. Well, this is the only road for some of them. Of course, you can also circle around and get out of the Shimla side. Obviously, during winters, these roads are a shot. I'm sure they have 6 feet of snow on them. There's no way you could plow this road either. Just have to wait for it to melt. My ears are popping, so it means it looks flat, right? This whole terrain looks really flat. My engine is straining, my ears are popping, which means we're gradually climbing. If you don't pay attention, you will not notice all of this. You think you're still in the flats. Look at that ridge. There's 2 ways to go. You could go down here or you could go up this bridge. Alright, let's go up. I don't know if Selfie is gonna find himself okay to do this. Maybe he should take the lower part. On the bridge. Selfie, take the lower side. That's the bridge Selfie should have taken, but it was so steep up. I don't know if his car would have made it up that steep of it. It's not a 4-wheel drive. Even this seems to be quite the challenge. Well, he seems to find himself stuck a little bit, which means do I have to back up and pull him out again? Yep, seems like that is. So this is the terrain that Selfie couldn't make it up. I had to reverse, find a way. I took a hit, but it's not showing much damage. And that is that raging river right on our right. So Selfie has to come forward so we can hitch him up again and pull him through. This is about strength, passion and endurance and teamwork. Although I wasn't a big fan of a non-4-wheel drive duster coming along, he was confident. Here we are now. We got to look out for each other. Not the ideal condition, but let's see. So the recovery again. Selfie's a little too far, so he has to bring it up to be able to hitch up to his tow hooks on the passenger front side. So we had another brief halt over there. There was a steep climb onto a bridge that Selfie couldn't manage. I tried to tow him on the side of the bridge, but those rocks were just too much, and the weight of Selfie and Gulfy trying to pull was just too much. So we tried the other route where we got him to get on the bridge route again, come as far as it could, and to come as far as he could, and then we hitched up. And I pulled him the rest of the way, and we are on our way. Now I'm not sure how many more such hurdles will come across in the front ahead of us, but good on Gulfy. I'm proud of him. Her, actually. I'm proud of you. Thanks for taking care of me, buddy.